Hey everyone, this is DWS Darius. Today we are in a fish room, and in this video I'm going to give you guys 3 habits that we might do that are not good for our aquariums. Now, a lot of us, when we go crazy with these fish tanks and we just allow them to take a major part of our life, you know me, I got all these tanks. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, a lot of times we pick up habits, and some of those habits are not good. So in this video, here are 3 habits that you definitely don't want to be practicing. Okay everyone, so for this video I don't want to be walking all around the fish room, so I'm going to focus on a specific tank that you all can watch, and that will be my 125 gallon American cichlid tank. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I used to keep American cichlids in my 210 gallon tank, and I just really love that setup. And now that tank is now a community tank, I decided to bring a similar setup down here. Now this tank is almost half the size of that 210, so I definitely got to go with smaller fish. So I chose some mid-size American cichlids. I have my Salvini, my Green Terrors, my Jack Dempsey's. These fish max around between 6 to 10 inches, so that's, I think, is a good size for this tank. I did mess up with a few. I have my Red Devil, you know, Red Devils get pretty big, and my Black Belt, which reaches about 12 inches. But eventually, as they grow up, I'll limit the amount of fish in this tank and just try to get that same balanced aquarium. So this is the tank that I'm going to let you guys look at while I talk about 3 bad habits that some of us may practice that we definitely want to stop practicing. So the first bad habit is overfeeding our fish. So just about every time I come into my fish room, my fish are always begging for food. Even like a half an hour after I just fed them, these fish will always want to eat. And it's definitely not a good thing to feed our fish all the time, especially if we're not willing to keep up with the maintenance. Now, if you have the time and you're willing to do a water change 2 to 3 times a week, then it's pretty much no problem when it comes to overfeeding your fish. They will grow, and as long as you keep your water clean, you won't have any problems. But for me, I have a busy work schedule, and it's hard for me to do multiple water changes besides my 1 water change a week. So because of that, I will have to watch how much I feed these fish. If I do overfeed these fish will poop more, and if I'm not able to do those water changes, the effects will be nasty. So that's one bad habit that we practice. We overfeed our fish when we're not able to keep up with the maintenance, and that's something we definitely want to watch because that leads to diseases, parasites, and just problems in the aquarium. So the first bad habit that you need to stop is overfeeding your aquarium fish. The second bad habit is sticking our hands into our aquarium water. Now, probably not a lot of us have this problem, but I know I definitely do. I stick my hands in my tanks every day just because of the thrill of it. I like to play with my fish. I know it sounds crazy, but when you start it, you really can't stop, especially with my saltwater tank. And that's crazy because the saltwater tank is one of my most sensitive tanks, but you know I have all the crabs in there, and I just love how they pinch my fingers and stuff like that. But it's definitely not a good practice because our hands do carry a lot of bacteria that can be harmful to our fish, and while it may not kill our fish overnight, it can lead to problems that can come within a week or so and have an damaging effect on our tanks. Even if we wash our hands, the soap that we use can be harmful to our fish. So to prevent all those problems, we just want to limit how much we put our hands into our tanks. Only put our hands into the tanks when it's necessary, and that's pretty much when you're doing water changes and stuff like that. Other than that, you want to keep your hands and everybody else's hands out of the tank for the best results. And the last aquarium tip, or the last habit, I think that all of us need to break, is just running with people's advice. Now, the internet is full of advice, and not all of it is bad. A lot of it is good, but the thing is, you just can't have that habit of just running with every advice that you get. All fish are different. All fish have different personalities. So if someone gives you advice, it's best that you consider that advice before you go and run and do it. If someone gives you advice as far as treatments to diseases, treatments to fish behavior, you definitely want to consider it before acting, because once again, all fish are different. All fish will respond differently, and this is something that I felt a lot of times. I went and I read something on an article, or I asked people questions on the internet, or saw different videos. I ran with their advice, and then the next week later I see a different person suggesting something else, and I go with that, and just leads to confusion and problems. I say it's not bad to take advice, just make sure you fully consider that advice before acting upon it, and then you can have some better results. So those are some habits that I know I practice that I definitely want to stop, or at least limit how much I practice them. I don't want to overfeed my fish too much. I need to stop sticking my hands into my tanks because it's something I do all the time. Like I said before, like a little kid, I just love sticking my hands into the tanks, and that's definitely not a good thing. And last thing is just limit how much, or just consider how much advice you take Don't be quick to run with advice. Make sure you consider it. Make sure it applies to you and your fish, and then go to it. But yeah, that's 3 habits that I think we all should just consider and watch ourselves with. So YouTube, that has been another video. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. For more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you know a bad habit that we fish keepers might practice, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching, and that will be the end.